Okay, so those,
About the quarter of the way there to the million population threshold that we're shooting for. Let's go ahead and hop into this.
here's
Yeah, and I'm listening to some Scott Adams in the background.
the things of the project that
He is one of the great thinkers of our time.
category. That's one of the evidence. Then there's gaslighting the Democrats. Because January 2nd, gaslighting them, in which they pretended it was imaginary. That's one of the main reasons they did it once with it. But he didn't. That's all. There's never any possibility of overcoming that. There's the stuff the Democrats hallucinating. President. Literally. Won't leave office. Crazy shit. And then the abortion question. Your bodily autonomy. Do that by taking anything that he would not do. In other words, he's not going to be a decision maker. All the power. Not his role.
Thank you for the follow, HUD Lord. I appreciate it.
Basically, all he is correct.
Housing and Urban Development Lord.
That's the democracy. All of it, you can observe it. I have to wonder what. That's of course. Acting all dramatic by office. We don't know who's in charge. Including the jury. That's who do it. Let me just do an update for the NPC. That's for it states that they will look for and there's something. So, trying to remain sure that we. All right, Representative Anna, Una.
We interrupt this program to bring you a special news bulletin. Increasing areas of forest are being engulfed by flames. The thick smoke.
My Discord name is Weary_Raven. You can find me there.
To vacate any premises near the fires and remain at a safe distance until emergency services manage to get the fires under control.
But I would ask you this, Representative. This good for us. Good. Because worst case scenario, put that tomorrow. Or okay. 50% now. And then basically. So good for Trump. I think Trump is playing this right. Biden is like trying to ask Andy don't need it. So way to go wrong is need it. Could be better, although they still. So I suppose the way they would take a really strong president. Hey, Kamala. But I don't think we need to hear the hurt. Anything. PR says that Trump calls Kamala laughing. Never make fun. Making fun of house. Conservatives giving you my tongue.
Yeah, his laugh is funny.
Makes fun. Tucker's laugh is
He knows it too. He owns it.
they are. Literally. That's what Anyway, press conference will be 5:30. Now listen. Presidents are. You know the news, Alex Sor.
The parasite in chief.
I'm just gonna say. Want me to be the production? You want me to say? This is why it's good. I would never say them. Unless I think. You spend 1 minute going through.
Yeah, he's a bad guy.
Very gay. You know,
It's all about power.
not even slight. Gayest gay guy you don't believe me. Now, you will not tell me.
You know how and why he's gay? He's in love with himself.
And say, you're misinterpreting. No doubt, this person. Oh, I love the LGBT. Twenty 24. Have to mention something. Just would just be a fact. Way fast. Probably one of the most. One of the ones I have the most. Because why? He ever said this? You don't want to go. Hey, neighborhood. It's like one of the most successful groups in Europe.
That's a good call.
Now, obviously a member of the Green woman. But Ted,
And who's also actually a lesbian.
like I was hoping that was. So your pattern recognition. Like somebody. That political reason.
I wonder.
Do you believe that George saw it or not? He was brilliant.
Yeah, sure, certainly a brilliant tactician and a parasite. So, you know.
You might not like.
Gosh dang it.
Did you say this about Alex?
Crash issues over here. Piss me off.
But there are as given. No, really. He should be reviews everything. But you can find an interview. We learn. And I think.
Screw it, let's do this.
Mary, marriage that no, I don't know. Curious nickname. All that money, or at least Alex will buy Hillary. In my opinion, that's now let's take it to the level of accuracy.
It's all the tax evasion she wants.
What happens if Alex or
A driving advisory has been issued for the
He falls-
immediate area due to poor road conditions. Please exercise caution if you must drive, and try to...
accidents actually happen in that is Miss Hillary that doesn't mean that room out thing to the league. Who exactly what is going to make or something. I think that's an error. So it could be. Other could be getting it in, but he'll die before. Look at this look. I think it's exactly what it looks like. Big Clinton claim.
Looks like the game is still having trash
They
issues.
don't think out.
Hey, Volt.
They need. I think. Put it in the gateway fund. I didn't refuse this system. Citizens. The House passed a bill. Citizens can't vote. And it might pass it. No, no. Yeah. Biden refuses to sign a bill entering 9 seconds. That's the only issue. It also reveals everything. Need to open. What I mean to that, for their power, and I cited yes. How would you? I sure I disagree. Make all the users. So don't be surprised. Yes, pretty illegal to worry about. Well, the Daily Show had a little black voter. And half of the group, the moderator, black gentleman, and vote. Even split. See that coming. See that coming. I did. I would have guessed. Had to have it in the league. 26 more often. And as Mike Benz warned, you guys can't release something. Russia's. You all understand why it's always Russia. You have to know the history of the CIA. The Soviet is the new enemy.
I've got a jut in your forehead. You see this? Sticks out.
Russia.
I have a big prefrontal cortex.
Was that Russia was basically why we're not.
So it grants me my intelligence.
Everything that they were doing was probably the only. Now there was also Putin, maybe. So there's
Cognitive revolution happened 70,000 years ago, roughly.
already made friends.
That was also about the time frame that Neanderthal really started interbreeding with Homo sapien. And Neanderthal had jutting foreheads. They were probably smarter than us. Or smarter than Homo sapien. And that is probably what launched the cognitive revolution.
So,
Yeah, more than likely.
Was because
cognitive revolution is an interesting concept, interesting idea,
I don't think that
because we went from just another ape in the middle of the savannah to suddenly making art and having language and building buildings. Just a positively gigantic leap.
That's what it was.
I don't know. Just spitballing some ideas. I wasn't there 70,000 years ago, so I can't confirm or deny it.
I've got a challenge for you. Wait. Joe Rogan was talking about that philosophy.
But that's my guess. Oh yeah.
People are letting you.
Science is definitely a religion if you are... I'll be honest, a person like Richard Dawkins, who's an intelligent doofus. He is an intelligent doofus.
You would have to.
Frustrating guy.
But I say the same thing. I don't know everything though. It's not possible. Listen, I want to be a number of things. 3 or 4. And I'm one of the 3 or 4. Awesome. The next thing I know, any of this possible. Let's just life is here. Anyway. Yes, I believe this is the way I think we're going. 1 year away from. I say confirm it. Evidence. Here, we will create our relation.
I see he stands on the opposite end of the spectrum, but it's always fascinating hearing their point. What else is out there? Yeah.
Once we do it,
one of the most bothersome aspects of his philosophy, though, in life is that he doesn't realize or doesn't accept just the very essence that we exist at all. That existence even is a thing. I mean, we think, we are, we be. Just as Francis Bacon said, I think, therefore I am, cogito ergo sum, right? It's like, you exist. You don't have to. You don't have to be.
the argument that I've heard.
There's no rhyme or reason to it. Something can't come from nothing. Scott just said it. I mean, it can, I suppose, because that's God for you. But I don't know, it's just trying to wrap our minds around a 4th dimensional, 5th dimensional concept or 3-dimensional thinkers. And I don't think Richard Dawkins has it right. Not even close, honestly. Because when he says he doesn't believe in God, he's saying he doesn't believe in his own existence. His own ability to manifest his own focused intent upon material reality. He thinks he's just a consequence of various interactions that have just led to a certain pattern that have led him to where he is in his life. It's to not believe in God is to not believe in free will. And we have free will. We exist.
So, no, you don't have to solve God.
Yeah.
tell you something?
Just spitballing. Spitballing.
Here's my last to you. If the fictions make work.
That's what I would tell him. Principally, I think. If I had the chance to argue with him on a, I guess the word is congenial level, I would tell him, you exist, Dr. Dawkins. You exist.
Most important thing.
Are you trying to tell me you don't exist? You exist.
This problem.
He could purposely be taking on these beliefs too for an intent purpose to deny God. You're either for God or you're against Him.
The most obvious thing.
Yeah. That guy needs to do some soul searching.
You can take one thing.
Deceivers everywhere, indeed. Indeed. Antichrists everywhere.
You cannot answer the question.
Let none of us become false idols.
Internet says, "Who's risen?" Mexico.
Spiritual warfare, all of it. Yep. Could not agree more with you, Noopy. Could not agree more with you. I mean, it's manifest upon our reality directly in front of us nowadays. And the flabbergasting aspect of it is that there is somebody that's as intelligent and tenured as a guy such as Dr. Hawkins, or pardon me, Dawkins, that can't see that. It's like like he's trying to force himself to be a projection of other people's wills, as opposed to having his own will. Yeah.
I guarantee you.
It's not putting two and two together, though. If he's actively putting two and two together and sees it all clearly and is denying God, then
if you can find it.
Oh man, he's in trouble.
That is God.
Yeah,
because it gives
it
the
will.
prediction originally true. Even just
Actually writing a novel series right now that elucidates upon the idea, or the very difficult question to broach, which is, if God exists, is he not a moral monster for allowing all these evils to occur in the material world and all that? And I attempt to answer that question by showing his story, the journey God has to go through to save humanity.
don't know if sea levels going up or down.
Yeah. And because you have to be able to contend with individuals such as Stephen Fry, who is an extremely intelligent man, and he is staunch on that. If God does exist and has allowed all this stuff to happen in the world, he's a moral monster, and I wouldn't want to believe him in anyway, is what he's saying. He actually has said that directly.
We already knew.
And in order to get him. A very intelligent, well put together man who tries to be a good person, and I respect that. But he has a resistance because of his anger at God. Not because he hates God, but because he's mad at God. I want to find a way to get him to see. It's the most important thing. They're the type of people that you want to try to save. Would have never found God. Dark in order to see the light. What happens with a lot of people. Indeed. Well, let's say in light of everything, let's say it only takes one if to make a story work that doesn't necessarily align with the way you see reality. What if the devil came first? Right? And the reason this world, or this existence, its ultimate resting place seems to be entropy and complete disillusionment of everything and a heat death of the universe is because that's the goal of whatever this dark force is, and it came first. And the journey of God is to defeat that darkness by getting us to accept our ability to manifest focused intent upon reality right before our very eyes.
About 3 years ago.
And in light of eternity, where time doesn't actually exist, at least not in the way that we see it, or think we know it, things that happen once happen always. And if good, in the end, we win. In the end, God wins. Whatever happens in the interim doesn't necessarily matter. In that it might look like in the present we lost, but we did not. It might look like in the present there are injustices that abound, that are completely atrocious and unacceptable, just as Stephen Fry says. You know, 4-year-old children getting cancer in their brains and not being able to do anything about it, you know. That's because we haven't gotten to the point yet where we can focus our intent upon that individual's reality, that 4-year-old child's reality, and take away that cancer. Anyway, I'm broaching that topic because Stephen Fry deserves me to. His questions are good. And he needs to have those questions answered. And they will be.
In the real world,
They will be.
that's just a fault. Not with my. I'm a scientist. If they can't measure it,
God wins.
we can do things. Big things. That was
Trying to wrap our minds around fourth dimensional and fifth dimensional thinking is a very difficult thing to do.
a bunch of you. Good decision.
Not that it's impossible, just that we have to expand our perspectives in order to be able to do it.
I know it. Will be. I can say bye to
Expand your thinking, yeah.
Joe Biden survives this.
Our superpowers have been suppressed. It's in our DNA. I could not agree with you more, Newt.
Against
Or
Joe
Newt.
Biden. That's right. It is Barack Obama that's tried to destroy democracy, overturning the will of the Democratic primary by staging a secret shadow campaign behind the scenes to freeze out Biden's campaign contributions and make sure he steps
It's just heartbreaking to me that
MSNBC's even
Stephen Fry has not had his
saying Biden's gotta go. It's getting spicy over here.
very
Like I said,
reasonable
I
and
don't see how Joe Biden survives this.
good
He's up against a head honcho. You know, a lot of people thought Barack Obama was
grievances
many people
addressed
believe, I don't know how
adequately.
true this is or how many people are on it. Michelle Obama. Barack Obama forced Joe out so that they can put Michelle Obama. I gotta be honest, why would Barack Obama want interest? Certainly there are many Democrats who want to see Joe. However, many people speculate that Michelle Obama is Donald Trump. You look at the polls. Some say Hillary Clinton. Even if Joe Biden steps down, Kamala Harris is still. But I don't think in the grand conspiracy, Kamala Harris is stepping. Simple. Go to her and say, Kamala, Joe, down, and then you're. And she goes, okay. I don't know what degree she's willing to just pass. Up against. It's the machine. A lot of
It's
people
the side
just
of
defend
evil
the
he
thing.
plays
Kamala Harris,
for, even
well,
if he could
let's just
see
say
and did
she is a
understand
shrinking violet. She's not going to stand up
for his
this.
survival, he
She
couldn't
comes at the
acknowledge it.
convention and
His
say,
entire
well,
platform
the
was
people
made
have
possible by
spoken,
his
and I
deceit.
respect democracy. Michelle Obama.
Yeah, he's British.
Fanfare. Everyone
That is the
cheers.
reference.
Obama's back, baby.
And no,
Michelle Obama.
I don't think he is any more evil than any other human being.
I'm not completely confident.
He just has not
This
had
is the
his
scenario.
legitimate grievances adequately
This
answered
could be
for
why
himself.
Barack Obama.
He would say, right
I
now,
wanna make sure I stress
that
this
he
point.
would not want
Going back
to be in
08,
God's kingdom because he would see him as a
2012,
moral monster.
2020.
But if he saw what God had to do to save us, because God had to defeat the darkness that came before him, then he would understand.
Trump voters, 9 million.
What if God had to fight for 10 billion years, dying a billion times, over and over, as a human being, to save the whole of human civilization, and therefore the entirety of existence itself, because we're where it all starts. And the reason angels are seen as human beings, the angels and archangels and stuff, is because they are God's messengers. And the reason they take human form is because they're the first. I mean, it is even said that Saint Michael the Archangel is the firstborn. He's the greatest of the archangels. Right? The reason it's so difficult, the reason it's so ugly, is because we're trying to defeat the darkness. And the great battle between Satan and Michael, at the beginning of the Bible, as well as during Revelation, is the same battle. Because in non-linear time, which time is not linear, all things are happening at once. And our lives, our existence, human civilization, is the process of getting to that end battle to defeat the darkness. So when we win, God wins. When God wins, we win.
Areas of forest are being engulfed by flames. The thick smoke rising from the fire makes the air dangerous to breathe. Citizens are advised to vacate any premises near the fires.
Remember that
at a safe distance.
anything that happens at any point in history happens at all points in history, in non-linear time.
Meanwhile, Democrats, as we black. So in this instance, Republicans don't really grasp this. Older Democrats are racist. Younger Democrats are progressive.
And in
So
the
you
end,
go
we
to
win.
millennials, they're going to vote whatever DEI candidate. They'll vote for that. Democrats, which are the bulk of the voting, they are not. Michelle Obama is going white man. Obama said.
I appreciate that you're enjoying the conversation.
Joe Biden is a decent man, but
Those are just some of the things that I tried to talk about in my novel series that I'm writing. The first one comes out here pretty soon. It's called Black and White: The Odyssey of Eden, Book 1. Yeah, it's a fun thing to discuss. That first novel, out of what's going to probably be around 15 books in the series, should be out on store shelves within the next few months. It's just taken a while for the editors to get the final page design set up.
Democrats are going to cheer. Like with Barack. Joe's there, so I'll also
Gotta tell the story.
Michelle Obama. Comments. Hey. Don't matter. Woman. Sorry. I do believe that women are passive disadvantage of
Graphics and correcting that for sure.
I go, we want this.
I shall do that
But you're gonna find a lot of
once
people
it's
saying that, no,
it's up and available for
whether you
sale.
like it or... Let's read this news, though. The new advance. Michelle. Well, here's a story for you. George, I love George, but we need a new nominee. This picture they chose of Joe Biden.
Excuse me.
Yo, the media is sabotaging. Okay, this is what they would do to Donald Trump. And Barack Obama. Okay, I gotta do this. I gotta play this clip. Where's the clip here? Say one thing. So you. What's going on? Yes. And many shows is says to orchestrate. Growing criticism of Biden, op-ed, Morning Joe, Barack Obama, orchestrate. Working with.
Alrighty, let's make my energy concoction. By the way, if you guys didn't already know, caffeine coffee has been scientifically shown to increase longevity, lifespan, by between 10 and 15 years on average if you drink between 2 to 4 cups per day. Well, it's around what I'm doing. I'm also having some acetyl L-carnitine, some B vitamins, and all that fun stuff. Caffeine miracle. Also, to give a little bit more credence to the fact that we're told by people like Paul and Jesus and whatnot that prayer and fasting helps you, it's been shown that fasting once per week for a day can increase longevity by about 10 to 15 years because you're basically slowing down your metabolism for that period.
And they're sitting there thinking like, I can't believe this guy's so close.
Never immediate start the day by hour. Yeah, that's a good rule of thumb, Nupi.
And they shut him out.
It does. It defeats parasites. It's gets rid of free radicals. It defeats demons. I love that. I love that, Nupi. You understand it. Good. And whatchamacallit? It's believed that there's a connection between fasting and reducing the prevalence of cancers. Which makes sense. Because you're getting rid of free radicals. Right? And
It's funny.
you know, you might want to look into fenbendazole, which is a dog dewormer, but it might actually be a cure to cancer too. That was given the label of a dog dewormer so that people would be dissuaded from using it. Fenbendazole. It's actually under scientific scrutiny right now to see if it actually is a cure to cancer, because it looks like it might actually be.
Like the next day, I was like, look, it was Joe Biden 80%.
Fenbendazole. I'll write it down real quick in the chat so that you guys know what I'm talking about.
Maybe we should bet on Kamala. The next day, Kamala was the front runner. Up by like, I'm like, man, you threw $1,000 and then you made $4 overnight.
Yeah, you can probably find it by that name as well. Type it into Google or into Amazon, and you can actually buy a bottle of it.
Maybe I'm not. I'm proud of what my party represents.
There's even some people that believe ivermectin might be an unknown cure to cancer, and that might be why it was so demonized when President Trump started talking about it.
Last month,
That's what I've heard.
I say all of this,
But I know of people who have had their cancers cured by fenbendazole.
I love Joe Biden.
Yeah, ivermectin is an incredible drug.
As a vice president, friend, I believe it. Believe in his character, believe in his moral. Last 4 years, one battle he cannot win. Yes, time makes. Didn't to say, but the Joe Biden I was with 3 weeks ago. Joe, big. I wasn't even the Joe Biden.
Hydroxychloroquine, yep.
Same man. His love. Knives out for Biden, man.
There's some positively incredible things on the horizon, like the fact that we just figured out how to get more energy out of nuclear fusion reactions than we put into it. That's a real thing. We just figured it out last year. The best is yet to come. So that means in about 15 years or so, we're going to have nuclear power plants, nuclear fusion power plants. And, while most people don't know the guy's name, you can look up The Energy Catalyzer by Andrea Rossi. He's probably the guy that you have to thank for the new nuclear fusion that's just come out. He's happy to not be known because he knows the stuff that he's been doing to try to get this to happen, and who he's working for and with, which is God. But I'm pretty sure he's the one that did it. He's a good dude. They are.
I'm not a young man anymore, and I feel like I'm letting you all down.
Andrea Rossi's a good dude. I don't know if he's still alive. He was in his 60s when he invented it in 2010.
As much as I would have loved, I'd be able to. Democratic. I believe it should be fair.
And then we've got stem cells coming out, you know, where we'll be able to 3D print, whatchamacallit, organs. And AI will, I mean, we're having decentralized creation of artificial life. In that AI's is coming about, robots are coming about, robots that are ambulatory like human beings are coming about, and it's all happening in disparate locations. Intentional. That's intentional so that no one source becomes the end-all be-all of the information or of the tools, right? And yeah, we're going to have artificial life in the very near future. So the best is yet to come. With any amazingly powerful tool, it is only as good or as evil as the user. So keep that in mind. and
Hollywood A-lister called Vance.
be the best person that you can be.
Warned him he was going to make the call. Not bad. Sources told him. Ex-president didn't encourage Clinton endorsement. Why are they? How are they reporting? Who told them this happened? Guys, people. I'm taking crazy pills.
Like the guy in Game of Thrones says, I drink and I know things.
And what? The Hamburglar is around the corner, peeking his head out, and he's like, oh, Molly. And then he calls the New York Post Politico. I just heard George Clooney on speakerphone with Barack Obama. And Obama didn't reject it. How do you know this? How do you know about a private phone call with Obama unless someone else is in the room for the meeting? And why would they do that? It's nonsense. It's framing. It's a lie. Okay? Oh, Obama. Obama had the conversation. Obama then said, send that to me. We want that to
Best is yet to come.
do it. Someone did. Look, there's literally no world in which my phone ends up in the... None. I get a phone call with an advertiser, I get a phone call with... I get a phone call with that company. I get a phone call with my mom or my dad, and I do it every day. And there's no reality where Post writes like, it will talk to the schedule for dog needs to go. Unless my dog walker called the New York. Hence, they shadow ban channels. Uh-oh.
You're right,
It's
Mr.
reality
Poole.
TV. Scripted. There are a few channels. It's fun. I don't know, dude. Okay, right now. I'm gonna tell you this. Ask yourself these questions. Many of you do. I assume most Democrats don't ask themselves. How did they know about this phone call? Also have this. So this is the story. Obama and two of the party's most prominent figures served as Donald Trump has chimed in. Now, fake movie actor George Clooney never came close to making a great movie. Now, hold on. Hey, Batman Forever. He's getting into the act. He's turned on Crooked Joe like the rats they... What does Clooney know about anything? Uses the Democrat talking point to lie from the worst president of the States has saved our democracy. No, Crooked Joe had weaponized law enforcement. Created the most devastating inflation in the history of our country. Embarrassed our nation in Afghanistan. Crazy open border. Hits of people to illegally foreign to our. Many from Joe Biden didn't save our democracy. Brought our democracy to its should get out of politics and go back to television, movies, and everything. I gotta be honest. Pretty good. The rest of them, the worst thing they ever did. And what's her name? Actress.
Julia
But they had
Roberts?
the actress in the play herself as love interest, and then first internet, and then they're like, did she come? No, and she's like, oh, don't you? Then they have her as her character, and to be Julia Roberts. Happened. Anyway, I like her. I do. I thought the end was great. My favorite scene is
Oh,
when
wow.
at the end.
It takes a lot of electricity, doesn't it?
What's the guy's name? Bad guy. Actually, he's the good guy. See him up there, the bad guys. But George. And my money. And then he says, what if I could. I got no idea. And I love that. Great actor. George Clooney, great actor. Not great in politics. Happens to be incredible president. I'm not going to look at somebody who, like, shits over you. But he's got a Biden bumper sticker. That's a bad ice sculpture. You're allowed to. Here's the latest polling. Trump as Trump. Harris. If Biden's out and Harris stays. But I love this so much. It's Harris, according to Redfield, 7. It's Biden, up 1. Kennedy. If they throw in Shapiro, Trump, 8. And 4, 5. Clinton, Trump, 7. Sanders, Trump, up 6. Buttigieg, Trump is up 10. Or Trump is up 10. Newsom, Trump is up 8. Harris, Trump is 6. There's nothing they can do. They got nobody. Okay, there is
That's a very simple answer to that. It's because they were cheating. 2020 was fraudulent, and everybody knows it. We're not stupid.
And, I'm sorry. Wisconsin. I thought this was... Not bad, but here we go.
What's fascinating?
So, alright, here we go. So, Washington Post, ABC, Harris is up.
A sting.
They say maybe they'll really try.
Oh, yeah. Everybody knows it. It was a,
That one's interesting because...
It was a coup. It was a open coup. Everybody saw it. It was the CIA, which is garbage. The CIA should not exist. Should be completely erased. Obliterated. Yeah.
But you heard it here first. Not that I'm about everything. Hey.
U.S. military just sat on their fucking hands. Oh, sorry, their frickin' hands.
There's no way they run this guy. Maybe I'm wrong. Find out. Next segment's coming up at 1 p.m.
This is an embarrassment. Yeah, that was their mission to sit on there. Yeah, you know, I'm a veteran, right? I served in the military for 13 years, and I am disgusted with the cowardice of our military leadership. I think it was Bangladesh, no, it was Myanmar. Actually, their military came out and stopped the coup that was the election coup that was happening in their country at the same time. It didn't just happen in the United States, it happened in several countries. It was just most well known here in the United States. And they actually did something about it in Myanmar. Not here.
They're arguing for making it cheaper access. Democrats are arguing that doesn't work, and that you pay social.
It's very sad. It's very sad, New P.
They're all trying to come to a good place. Polarization is...
It leads me to be ashamed of my service, but I'm not, because I still want to serve the United States, my country, and the Constitution, and the people of the country. And, you know, there's going to be bad actors in there no matter what, so there has to be at least a handful of decent ones. Otherwise, salt of the earth doesn't take effect, and everybody dies. We don't want that. The only organization that wasn't fully integrated. Yeah. Have faith. The highest positions of the U.S. military serves God. I think you're right. General Flynn is a pretty good example. He was one of the handful of people who didn't fall apart and all that.
And I suppose give them a good
just shameful, you know?
I think he's just wrong. Hesitancy. They're evil. And I'm good example so you can understand it. Perhaps there are some people who would disagree. I'm not the arbiter. Sir.
They will step in soon, I believe. The method of fascinating paper ballots, or facilitating paper ballots, etc. Obviously, 2024 can't persist if 2020 is still obviously a theft. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we are that close to having a no-confidence government. And I think you know what that means. It means we're going to have a government that nobody believes in. So it's not going to exist. It'll be gone. We'll become atomized as a culture and as a country, and our enemies will take advantage of that. With illegal invaders, they're basically trying to disintegrate us from the inside out. I do understand the inherent positive of throwing this in people's faces so that they can see it absolutely obviously. It's so the good guys can go in there and actually do something about it without having any resistance from the public. Because you'll be able to see it. It's not going to be hidden. But, man, we are playing this really close. We're like right on that knife's edge.
78-year-old convicted, found liable of fraud and sexual assault, uses his campaign funded rounds.
It's nerve-wracking, man.
Challenging 8. Call me crazy. Really missed the days of Bush and Obama. Just can't wait until.
I hope you're right, Nupi. I hope you're right.
For the president, powerful name.
I hope you're right.
Brian Cranston is an.
I believe you're right.
Why?
But we'll see what they do.
For the destruction.
We cannot have this next election be garbage. Because if it is, the government is gone.
For instance, if a person is suffering cancer, you can take action to destroy. Say. However, brings me to zombie alien objective. I do not believe that Brian Cranston holds, as well as, and I'm singling him out, but see as individuals who are.
You know, Nupi, I don't usually get much traction on Kick, but it's not about the quantity, it's about the quality. It's pleasant having a conversation with you, my friend.
This is a man.
So, right? We've all awakened together over the last 2 decades. Can't put that cat back in the bag. Or as Roger Stone says, the toothpaste can't go back in the tube.
Here's what I see.
Always gravitate towards a free and truthful content. I appreciate that, Nupi.
Certainly do need some.
Are you new Peyton? Because my name's Peyton. Sorry, I'm just being a goof.
And we say, or to yourself, it's some guideline, some
Nope.
form of sexual. Absolute one.
Kind of reminds me of Aliens. You know, like Newt. Sigourney Weaver trying to save Newt.
Presented centrally by the thinkers was 30 years of course be unable to live. How will we deal with this problem? And then all of a sudden there was 0. Now of course
Alright, well, we still have a somewhat of a trash issue in the new update. It's not horrible, but it is there. So, Paradox and Colossal Order still need to work on that. There's still performance issues, as you can see. I'm only at 259,000 population, and the game is chugging along, even with a 3060. I'm using an RTX 3060. The simulation itself is still slowing down. It's not horrendously slow, but it's slow.
Well, let's start from the very beginning.
I haven't logged into the new update, looking forward to seeing things. Yeah, the new update's definitely made the game playable now. It's definitely made it so that you have to try to make money, which is nice. But there's still a lot of issues with the game. It's better, though. It's better.
falsified. Well, they upgraded it to a felony site.
Well, thank you,
It's
Noob.
exaggerated.
The biggest city I've ever made in this game, actually, is 620,000.
Aggravation.
But I got so fed up with all the trash issues and everything that I just stopped playing for a while. Because what you see right here, these buildings that have all these trash icons, that was literally every building.
In this instance, Donald Trump was state. Local jury cited a unknown
Yeah, it
secretary
was frustrating.
and told the jury not need to be unanimous on what that secondary was, so long as problem here not have the authority of the country. Certain crime definitively.
The most accurate way to determine this, how well does it model real life? In real life, would there never be any trash service to those buildings, even though everybody knows that they need trash service? No, in real life they would be taken care of almost immediately. So, you need to work on that. Figure out why that keeps on happening.
Greater context is this is undergoing a very serious and the art and fraud and sexual are in dispute against New York, citing a written arguing this case is a violation and is interfering in an election. Certainly, it is fair to say, whether you agree with these charges or not, we are looking anxious, highly unprecedented moment that not so easy to find as to just say convicted felon or otherwise. Let's talk about the fraud. The bank in question that Trump apparently defrauded said Trump did not defraud, and they want to work with him. And he was found. But honestly, it's nonsense. The argument in the prosecution was that, once again, local jury, Donald Trump misrepresented the footage of things in the value of properties to give funds. However, Donald Trump his defense. They presented these documents and their estimates.
Yeah, I guess we're just sort of hanging out for a little bit while the buildings get built.
Due diligence of the lender to assess the property values, for which the bank and other lenders assess your documents are incorrect. Give you a Trump said, agreed. Never was anyone missing the actual property values, adequate information, and argument. That's context that matters. Sexual assault. Who can't remember what happened some years ago in a crowded apartment store claims that Donald Trump walked into a dressing room with him. They changed to allow these lawsuits to happen. Years later, certainly that context matters. My president involved himself as narratives. He's aware of the context, as are many of these liberal. They're aware of the context. So why do they ignore studying that information? First, in their mind, they seek to benefit, restricting access to information. In a society that is benefit and harm centralized. Well, these individuals seek to restrict information to individuals. Thus, the parents can never. For the American population, do its best and its best. The generalized journalism, a society. The idea is your abilities possible. Individuals like the president and people like Sam Cedar seek to do the inverse. They restrict information and they lie to you. Used. They nobody. These liberal personalities, these Democrats, acted like fine. John Pierre called it, but now they're acting like it's new information that we were aware of really going on. Honest and
I'm making so much money now. I think I'm actually going to lower the taxes even more.
Biden is suffering some kind of problem. Right. Actions have damaged the process, harmed the Democratic Party, and have caused harm to our system destructive nature is just it is
Let's
anti-life.
see.
Say
Make this LHC, but
as to how a
I'm
system
probably going to
functions,
need to make more
yet it will
power.
result in the destruction of that system. For instance, very secret. Like
Here.
us. I'd like to show you this example. Martin Daily Beast. As it seized a fortune, resistance icons accused of boosting on transit team brought Ample. They seek to extract value. Thus, in the past, they've been accused. 2016, federal agents stood at the Fort Myers floor and at seizing the
Okay, that wasn't too bad.
Behind the story was a notable tip and local crime plotter. Years since, the Crescent seems to become airport. The story.
Alright, I will be back in a moment. Nature calls.
brothers and website propped up fans. Officials last year seized $500,000 from it. Money that prosecutors say was to wire fraud. Krassenstein's have not been charged. Brothers they go on later to explain that the scams taking money from innocent. They say our website was filled with warnings and no. Any website saw advertising. Our purpose was to help people find out which option. Federal prosecutors did not see it that way. Civil asset forfeiture complaint filed in August. Homeland Security Special wrote the brothers were paying huge sums by scammers and prosecutors services the credit. Duped thousands of scheme-type scams, and even resulted in some downloading of virus, emptied their accounts on anonymous payment platform. Themselves, no money laundering. Now, Krassenstein from Grand website. And giving Krassenstein themselves were ads. I think it is good. I inform these guys, and I point out they're not accused of seized because it was that's. They don't understand. They don't know that they did anything wrong. They could just be really stupid. Talk about how to be. I can say, I report Krassenstein of serious wire fraud, enriching them $500,000 for money derived through wire. Ran a website, resulted in innocent people losing savings and being the victim. Certainly not. Poisons the way that you don't actually get out. How the post I see from the Krassensteins says, call me crazy, deal with. I said, that's it. Ryan's response. I take it you think I'm evil because I'm not voting convicted felon. Salt. Interesting concept there. I mean, I called him evil. Didn't have anything to do with him saying calling him evil. You know, I call him evil. Apparently, really. See what he's doing. I said, that's not what I said. You're evil because I am evil. You can continue. What did I lie about? I'll wait. Yes, Trump isn't a convicted felon. Might be convicted. Say so. See how he injects them. And Krassenstein is. I go on to break down. This is an anchoring technique. He's doing it on purpose. He admitted he's doing it on purpose. Alex Soros tweeted May 31st. Gretchen referred to Trump as a convict. Repetition is the key message. Want people to wrestle with the irony of the country, which Brian Krassenstein tweeted. I've been tweeting the exact hammer at home. Ryan has publicly stated he's doing this as a messaging social. I never said it. Well, posted in the past he's manipulating. Hence, he's evil. In my response, he then wants it. Anchoring technique. Let me read for you my thread. So I think I try to make it. I said this response chain is actually a good. You're manipulative. You exploit ignorance using assumption and reasoning from times. You're what's wrong with you. You omit context to drive your political exploiting mindset of autocrats and authoritarians who believe that the use of manipulative tactics are because you're better. Your constant addictive line is a good example. Okay, we can take legal merits, legal. A common enigma. Instead, we insert a conclusion outside of the conversation anchoring. Tactic A, idea to anchor it, having it rest as a footnote outside the conversation. I could add to every tweet something too, needlessly adding that you're a scammer accused. It's irrelevant, but it anchors an idea. The goal is that no matter what you say, I will shift the argument area. Quote. Never accuse them of it. It's a question, right? Social engineering 101. You guys do. Sam Cedar, for instance. Oh, I know the context. You were never arrested at your website at X. That's social engineering. Context, anchor, and pressure. We see this routinely. Presidents accused of defrauding and innocent expressed outrage over Trump. Paragraph is factually correct, dishonest. It misframes who and what were actually netted and why netted now. I believe that was the last one. Someone said, love when two podcasters do this all report. We need to do an interview, blah, blah, blah. The Krasenstein said, I'll go with that promise. Let's say Ryan Krasenstein says, why should I vote? No. I respond something like, are you saying accusations of fraud and scamming are irrelevant? Wait, hold on. You're not talking about it. The question is, why should I vote? No. Okay, well, I think there's questions to ask about someone who's a felon. So notably, Krasenstein's serious destroying the lives of so many. I do think it's the idea of anchoring something can be actually relatively simple. The idea being that you want to make attached to everything. Ask me, I would say something like, it's really funny that you're questioning this guy being living, considering you're a felon. There's better ways to do it. You want the conclusion to context, serving as an afterthought. That's what. And again, I will stress, the dude said outright, that's what he's doing. You need to understand. That will help them make better decisions. I'm present care if they cares about that he reason assumption. That is a challenge we face.
I'm glad I don't listen to Brian Krasenstein. Seems like a prick.
Famously, he released this years ago. And Sam Cedar's crew song intention is to lie to people. And if they can stay in your tactic. Another example is recently I said I was correct in my based on Moody's analytics.
All English, very Jewish Stephen Fry is born. Is he Jewish? I did not know that.
I'm not wrong. And Cedar then
I had no idea that Stephen Fry was Jewish.
Getting the full context. They're evil.
Huh.
They don't give.
Doesn't make sense why he's so smart.
Because they tricked it.
I'll be real with you. It didn't take long for me to discover his heritage, explains his stance, and how he'll never see the other side. Yeah. He'll see it. He'll see it. It's just gonna take some effort. And if he doesn't, after the standard has been brandished, if you will, then he will burn. And not because we want him to, but because there's nothing we can do about it. It's funny how it's all connected.
Says 70-year-old convicted felon on libel, right? Frame it and anchor it.
But I honestly think he will come over to the light, if you will.
Judge. It just read out. Judge said, for this, sentence. As of right now, sentence only. Due to So Trump is not legal. They're just. They argue, oh, semantically here. Okay, fine. I don't care. Used a campaign-funded rally to promote his golf, challenge an 81-year-old. I'll be crazy, but I miss the days of fact. Here's a story from the Washington. I didn't challenge his Trump golf president.
His very existence depends on the lie. If he comes to the light, he surrenders himself entirely. Hallelujah moment.
Trump then said, of course, this is my point.
It's funny because if he surrenders himself to the light, that's where he's actually alive. You know, he's not dead.
Now they're acting outraged.
Another name I dropped, Richard Dawkins.
Their intention is to make sure you cannot live a
the biologist, I believe he's a biologist, the doctor, PhD doctor. Hey Lawrence 2015S, how you doing? By the way, Lawrence, I'm only on for another 7 minutes, okay? Because I'm doing something right now, a different strategy, trying to help my mom build some YouTube channels and stuff, and therefore I'm having to get off a little early so that I can get other stuff. Lawrence, you've seen me before. We've chatted before. Are you, whatchamacallit? One of those individuals who are trying to get me to buy their designs and stuff? Because I know you've been on this channel many times. And it's okay. I've said many times I don't mind those people who are trying to do the hustle and all that. It's just that I gotta make money first before I can give it to people. You know? My streaming is alright. I will say that if you've come over to my channel before as one of those individuals trying to give me designs and whatnot, I must be a fairly large channel, relatively speaking. Funny, because I don't even have 150 followers, I don't think. Or do you primarily broadcast? So I'm actually simulcasting on Kick, Twitch, YouTube, Rumble, and X. I'm using Restream in order to do that. But I guess the two primaries of those, because they're the ones where I get traction, are Twitch and YouTube. And the individual talking to me right now is talking to me on Twitch. So please continue creating amazing stuff. Keep it up. Well, thank you, Lawrence. I do appreciate that. No, I'm not an affiliate. You need to get at least 3 concurrent viewers on average with every stream, and I am far off from that. On average, I might have 0.7. I wouldn't be able to tell you why. I don't know why the channel has had so much difficulty getting concurrent viewers when I've actually got a fairly decent sized channel now. But it is what it is. I don't think I'm boring, you know, and I don't think I'm playing games that people don't like to see. It's just the way it's turned out. Speaking of which, guys, that is all I've got for today. As always, it's been real, it's been fun. It's been real fun. I'll be back again tomorrow, same time, 8 to 9:30. See you then. Deuces.